We've reset our menu pipeline. We have new digital innovation coming, from a revamped rewards experience to an AI ordering companion, and our marketing has completely transformed.
Once, these restaurants shaped routines and family nights. Now, dining rooms echo, logos flicker, and something feels off. This isn't coincidence or recession alone. It's collapse in slow motion, driven by choice, politics, and broken trust.
This is not the Boston Market mac and cheese that I remember. These noodles are completely overcooked.
These are 16 major chains unraveling in ways few expected. And it begins with the moment millions quietly stopped showing up. Before we reach the first restaurant on this list, there's something bigger shaping them all. It didn't start with food. It started with silence. Empty tables in cities where lines once wrapped around buildings. For the first time, major restaurant chains told investors that geopolitics and public sentiment were directly hurting quarterly earnings. Not protests outside stores, but customers simply choosing not to return. In parts of Southeast Asia and the Middle East, sales fell into double digits within months. Habits shattered, loyalty vanished, and once millions decide a brand represents something they won't support, no discount, menu tweak, or ad campaign can easily reverse it. That shift set the stage for everything that followed, because when trust weakens, even the most familiar names become fragile. Number 16, Cracker Barrel. For decades, Cracker Barrel sold comfort disguised as tradition. Road trips meant rocking chairs, biscuits, and a predictable pause from the highway. Then, in 2024, leadership approved a $700 million modernization push. In 2025, a new logo quietly erased the brand's bearded icon. The backlash was instant. Within days, the stock fell between 7% and 11%, wiping out confidence faster than any bad quarter. The company reversed course almost immediately. The damage was already done. When a brand misunderstands why people stop, not why they start, nostalgia turns fragile. Number 15, Round Table Pizza. Round Table was once the go-to for community nights and generous slices. But behind the crown, something was quietly crumbling. In 2026, its parent company Fat Brands filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, weighed down by hundreds of millions in debt. Round Table didn't collapse overnight, but reinvestment stalled, marketing vanished, and store upkeep slipped. Customers noticed. A brand that relied on local loyalty suddenly felt neglected. And when debt replaces direction, even a pizza chain with 5 decades of history can find itself quietly edged out by hungrier competitors. Number 14, Johnny Rockets. Johnny Rockets once sold diners a time machine, chrome counters, United Kingdom box hits, and burgers wrapped in Americana. But nostalgia can't pay debt. In 2026, Fat Brands, its parent company, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That umbrella also covers Round Table and Fat Burger, dragging all three down. Reinvestment dried up, updates stalled. The cheerful aesthetic began to crack. What once felt like a comforting throwback now looks like a business trapped in its own costume. And when customers stop coming, the past can't save the present, especially when the present is bankrupt. Number 13, Fat Burger. Fat Burger always leaned bold. Loaded patties, oversized portions, and the swagger of a brand that called itself the last great hamburger stand. But in 2026, that swagger collapsed. Its parent company, Fat Brands, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, citing over $500 million in debt. Suddenly, expansion plans vanished, store updates froze, vendors grew cautious. Even franchise locations felt the shockwave. The problem wasn't just financial, it was existential. When a company stretches itself too thin across too many brands, even one misstep can take the whole empire down with it. Number 12, Denny's. Denny's has long been the last light on the highway. Open 24/7, serving pancakes at 2 a.m. to travelers, students, and night shift workers. But even icons fade. In 2024, the company announced plans to close up to 150 underperforming restaurants by the end of 2025. It's not a dramatic collapse, but a quiet one. Death by disinterest. As late-night culture shrinks and rising labor costs mount, Denny's is being squeezed from both ends. When the menu starts aging and the booths stay empty past midnight, always open stops being a feature and starts sounding like a warning. Number 11, Tijuana Flats. Tijuana Flats tried to carve a niche between fast food and full-service Tex-Mex. Edgy, colorful, and just upscale enough. But in April 2024, 40 locations shut down overnight, and the company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy with $19 million in debt. The cause? A 2021 menu overhaul that ballooned operational costs and demanded equipment upgrades many locations couldn't support. Traffic dipped slightly and the margins evaporated. Tijuana Flats became a cautionary tale. Complexity kills speed, and flair means nothing when the finances collapse. One bad menu gamble, and the whole house folded. Number 10, Buca di Beppo. Buca di Beppo was never subtle. Giant portions, kitschy decor, and group dinners that bordered on theatrical. But by 2024, the curtain dropped hard. The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, owing over $39 million to its primary lender, plus millions in unpaid wages, utility bills, and vendor invoices. Lights were shut off. Employees went unpaid. Guests arrived to locked doors. The problem wasn't the food, it was bloat. Too many expenses, too little demand. When abundance becomes overhead and celebration turns into chaos, even a family-style feast can turn into a financial disaster. Number 9, Boston Market. Boston Market once offered a comforting promise. Home-style meals without the cooking, rotisserie chicken, mashed potatoes, and vegetables that felt like the healthier fast food alternative. But that promise collapsed. From over 1,100 locations, Boston Market dwindled to just a few dozen by late 2024. Lawsuits mounted, taxes went unpaid, and workers showed up to padlock doors. Even grocery stores started offering better versions of Boston Market's core appeal: faster, cheaper, and without the risk of finding an abandoned restaurant. When convenience is your only value, you can't afford to fall behind. Number 8, TGI Fridays. TGI Fridays used to feel like a celebration on demand. Potato skins, loud music, over-the-top birthday songs. But by late 2024, the party ended. The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and shut down dozens of locations in a sweeping corporate restructure. The nostalgia couldn't mask the cracks. Bloated menus, outdated interiors, and shrinking relevance in a dining world that now favors either fast convenience or genuine quality. Fridays didn't just lose customers, it lost its identity. And when a brand forgets what made people show up in the first place, they stop showing up at all. Number 7, Red Lobster. Red Lobster once owned the just fancy enough dinner lane, celebrations with Cheddar Bay biscuits and seafood that felt indulgent but accessible. Then came the crash. In May 2024, the company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, revealing over $1 billion in liabilities. A single misstep, endless shrimp, turned into a bottomless financial pit. Customers devoured more than they paid for, and every refill deepened the losses. Combine that with rising costs and vanishing foot traffic, and the collapse wasn't just possible, it was inevitable. Even tradition can drown when the numbers stop making sense. Number 6, Subway. Subway once promised customization, freshness, and ubiquity. You couldn't drive a mile in America without seeing one. But in 2024, its United States store count fell below 20,000 for the first time in decades. A staggering reversal for what was once the world's largest fast food chain. The fall wasn't explosive, it was quiet. Customers noticed shrinking portion sizes, rising prices, and an increasingly generic experience. Meanwhile, competitors surged with stronger branding and clearer value. Subway didn't crash, it faded. One underwhelming sandwich, one empty storefront, one forgotten footlong at a time. Number 5, Domino's Pizza Enterprises. In much of the world, Domino's felt unstoppable, fast, predictable, and expanding across continents. But in 2025, its international operator, Domino's Pizza Enterprises, posted its first annual loss since going public. With steep store closures in Japan and weak results in Europe, rising delivery costs, franchise stress, and aggressive discounting turned into a financial chokehold. Global expansion didn't shield them, it exposed them. Suddenly, the once bulletproof model couldn't outrun inflation or shifting demand. The ovens are still hot, but the business that fueled them is cooling fast. Number 4. Pizza Hut, United Kingdom. Pizza Hut once defined a delivery night comfort, and in the United Kingdom, it held ground for decades. But in 2025, its United Kingdom operator entered administration, and over 60 locations faced immediate closure. The cause? Rising costs, declining dine-in demand, and a model that failed to evolve. Rivals streamlined. Pizza Hut stalled. What remained was an aging brand caught between fast food efficiency and restaurant nostalgia. As rents rose and orders fell, those red roof icons began vanishing from high streets. It wasn't a scandal, it was simply too slow to adapt, and the world moved on. Number 3, KFC. KFC should be thriving. Chicken is booming. Chick-fil-A lines clog intersections, Raising Cane's can't build stores fast enough. And yet, KFC's United States same-store sales dropped by around 5% across 2024 and 2025. The problem? A bloated menu, outdated interiors, and uneven service. While rivals doubled down on simplicity, KFC offered confusion. Instead of a clear signature, it served nostalgia wrapped in noise. The Colonel's face remains iconic, but even icons get outpaced. In a golden age of chicken, the original fried empire is somehow losing the very war it started. Number 2, McDonald's. McDonald's is the most recognized fast food brand on earth, but even giants stumble. In 2024, the company's CEO publicly acknowledged that boycotts in several international markets were meaningfully impacting performance, particularly in parts of the Middle East. This wasn't about one bad quarter. It was consumer sentiment turning cold, quiet refusals, fewer visits. Entire regions where the Golden Arches once symbolized familiarity now signal controversy. For decades, McDonald's felt immune to politics. But when even a global powerhouse admits it's losing ground over public perception, it's clear. No brand is untouchable. Number 1, Starbucks. Starbucks didn't sell coffee. It sold ritual. Your pre-commute mobile order, the cozy cafe corner, the comfort of sameness. But in 2025, that ritual cracked. In Malaysia, its franchise operator reported triple losses, citing boycott-driven declines. Globally, foot traffic thinned. Suddenly, $7 lattes weren't mindless, they were math. A $2,000 a year habit was reevaluated. Even a billion-dollar plan to revive the third-place experience couldn't reverse the drift. Starbucks isn't vanishing, but it's no longer automatic. When a brand becomes a decision you have to justify, it's already lost part of what made it powerful. You didn't abandon these brands. You adapted to higher prices, shrinking value, and quieter disappointments. The power shifted back to you. Share your breaking point in the comments, subscribe to stay informed, and keep choosing what protects your health, your budget, and your time forward.